Good morning, guys. I just want to come on this morning and share a little bit more of what's been happening over the past 3 years and how I've gone from being diagnosed with HIV in October of 2021 and not wanting anyone to know about that to doing what I'm doing now on social media and speaking out about my journey with HIV and my experiences over the past few years. So, as many of you know who have been following me for a while, I was diagnosed with HIV in October of 2021, which came as a huge shock. As many of you who have HIV, I'm sure you went through the same emotions. I couldn't believe it when I was told. It took me a long time to get used to it. But the next sort of 6 months to a year after that, I started researching HIV myself. I wanted to understand as much about my condition as I possibly could. I ask lots of questions when I go and see my specialist, and I want to understand it as best I can. But I also watched other people's journeys, other people's stories, watched how people were being treated around the world that aren't as fortunate as me to live in a country like I do, where you can, be pretty free and speak openly about things. Yes, there's still stigma in the UK where I live, but not on the sort of level in other countries where people cannot speak about their status. And if they do, they're at risk of being killed or jailed or let's just put it like this, horrible things will happen to them. And the more I listened to people's stories and the more I watched, the more I just started to feel like I can't just sit and do nothing. I need to do something. And as time went on, the more those feelings got stronger. And when I was diagnosed, only my wife knew, my children, my parents and my sister. That was it. That's all I told. And as time went on, I started to tell more people that were very close to me. And I entrusted my status with someone who I thought was a friend. This is someone that I've known for 17 or 18 years. Now, they didn't know everything about me. Only my closest family knew everything about me. As I've said in other videos, I struggled with sexuality for, all my life, up until the age of 42 when I was diagnosed with HIV. And for those that don't know, I am bisexual. I'm married to a lady, but I am bisexual. And that's something that I struggled with on my own for 42 years. Nobody knew. No one. And that's because I was scared. I didn't want to share it because I was scared. That's the only way I can put it. Fearful of what people would think. But I eventually, when I was diagnosed with HIV, I told the people closest to me, and they showed me nothing but love. And it feels so good now to be open about who I am and all of my darkest, deepest secrets to be laid out on the table, if you like. And it's so freeing, such a freeing feeling. But this friend, I told him about my HIV status, but I didn't tell him about my sexuality. I didn't give him the full picture, basically, which I feel is my right. People don't have a right to know everything about you. They have a right to know what you tell them, and this person found out about my sexuality and what I'd been up to over the 2 or 3 years previous. As I told you, me and my wife were both unfaithful. And I was unfaithful, and he'd found out about this. and he got very angry and started telling people that we both knew what I was up to at that time, and about my HIV status. He started telling people and exposing my HIV status. And when I found out about this, it was another friend that told me what he was doing. Another person who I thought was my friend, actually. It turned out he wasn't. I was filled with fear. That's the only way I can describe it. A fear that completely consumed me for 2 or 3 days. And I remember lying in bed one day with my wife, and she knew I was going through it, and I was scared and full of fear and worry what people would think, not only about me being HIV positive, but also me being bisexual as well. You know, I was brought up in an era, you know, I'm 45 years old nearly, where you couldn't really talk about this sort of stuff. You know, we're living in an age now where, you know, it's still not easy to talk about this sort of thing, but it's a little bit easier, I would say. So yeah, I was sat in bed one night, terrified, but then I just thought, you know what, I'm going to take the sword out of this person's hand and put it in my own, and I'm going to tell people. So I went into my work the following day, and at the time I worked in a gym, because this person, so-called friend, was insinuating they were going to go to my place of work. This is also where I used to train as well. And they were going to tell people, they were going to tell my boss, they were going to tell the people that I work with. So I went into work the next day and I told my boss. I sat down in his office and explained to him what was going on, what was happening. I didn't tell the people I was working with at the time. I just wanted to tell my boss what might happen, that this person may come in and what they might do. And again, he was nothing but supportive, which was a huge relief. And then I started to tell my wider family about my status and about what was going on in my life at the time. So at the time I was having to battle with a lot of things. You know, what me and my wife were going through at the time, my HIV status, sexuality, addiction. I mean, I had it all crashing down on me, you know. I felt like I was in a vice, you know, everything was coming in on me at both sides. And it was tough. It was very, very tough. But I'm blessed to have a family, amazing wife who I love so much. Parents that have always been there for me, no matter what I've been going through. You know, 25 years of addiction, struggling with sexuality that no one knew of at the time. I was struggling with that on my own for 42 years, which was bloody tough, I tell you, very tough. And they've always been there. You know, they've always been there and supported me, and I'm very blessed to have them. Amazing kids as well. So this person was angry, bitter, and exposed my HIV status, my sexuality, the infidelity, all of it, everything that was going on that they had no right to expose. You know, that should have been my choice and my decision when I did it, but they forced me into it. So that is what originally started this journey. Looking back on it now, you know, I believe things happen for a reason. I'm kind of glad it happened now. At the time I wasn't. I was very angry myself that this person did this, and no surprise, they're no longer in my life. You know, you find out who your real, true friends are when you hit hard times. And I learnt a lesson that day, that the people I had around me at that time who I thought were my friends were not my friends. So after that incident, I was hurt. I didn't have any friends. I had my family, which I'm so grateful for, but I didn't have any friends because I got rid of certain people at that time that were in my life. People I used to get high with. I told them what direction I'm going in now. I don't want to live this life anymore, and they wanted to carry on in that life, so I couldn't be around them anymore. So I wished them well and went on my own path. And so I didn't have any friends for a long time. And but I started to get new friends in my life. And when I came out about my diagnosis on World AIDS Day in 2023, so that was December of 2023, that is when I decided to start speaking out about my HIV status. And the reason for that is like I said a few minutes ago, I started to see how people were being treated who were living with HIV. And I thought, I can't sit and do nothing. It filled me with anger how some people are being treated. And it upset me a lot, to the point of breaking down in tears on my own many times, seeing how some people are being treated because they have HIV or they're gay, bi, whatever, a different sexual orientation, and as many as you know, I'm a Christian, and it says in the Bible, in the Gospels, Jesus said, treat others how you want to be treated. And that's how I try and live my life now. I treat other people how I want to be treated, with respect and dignity and decency. And that's how this journey started, activism, whatever you want to call it. Me speaking out about my HIV status, my sexuality. This is real life stuff. This is real life stuff that people struggle with. And that's why I've come onto social media, to help, support and encourage. And it's given me a whole new life and a whole new outlook on life and direction. And I know where I want to go in life now, and that is doing what I'm doing at the moment. And it's given me a whole new group of friends. If you're watching, Mark Mills, another HIV activist, Auntie Lou, Faisal from Nigeria, some amazing people it's introduced me to and given me some new friends, new acquaintances, new friends I've made in the gym that I train in as well. It's given me a whole new group of friends and a whole new life. That's what HIV has given me. It hasn't taken anything from me. It's, how do I put this? It's taken me off the destructive path that I was on. I was on self-destruct without even realising it, with the things I was doing and the things I was engaged in prior to my diagnosis. And now it's put me on this new path, this amazing path, this amazing road that I'm so grateful for. It's given me nothing but positive things, excuse the pun, HIV. So yeah, I just wanted to share the past sort of 3 years of what's been going on and how I've gone from being diagnosed with HIV to now doing what I'm doing now on social media. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you today. Hope you have a great day, guys. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.